Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Sestrino back here for our Traitors episode number 7 coverage. And here I am back with a man who I've recruited to join me on this journey. Here is Pooya Zambakili. Pooya, how are you?
I'm good. Episode 7 was good. It finished. We can now talk about that cliffhanger, and I'm excited.
Okay, yeah, we got that. We were down to 2 traitors for a minute. It looks like maybe we could be back to 3. We'll unpack all of that. Shelby banished. Very sad moment for the show. It seemed like that was with a heavy heart. Everybody got together and said, you know what, Shelby, this is a tough one. But she's a traitor. She got to go. And oops, she was not. And then, of course, Angelica ends up being the person who gets murdered by the traitors in episode number 7. But, it happened at the start of the episode. We got to talk it through. We were debating in the last one about, okay, what's going to happen. It looked bad for Cody. Cirie ultimately doesn't say his name, but goes with, the House vote. It would have been a bad move for her to not have written Cody's name down. I think she was looking for an exit ramp for him. Didn't see it.
Yeah, I think ultimately the proof is in the pudding from who got banished next. And that is, if you voted with Cody, you were being looked at extra. So
yeah,
not only did because my worry was, if she doesn't give out a straight answer there and votes, that's still as bad as just voting him, just saying it. That could be an issue. Cody didn't say anything on the way out, which is great. But yeah, it all worked out. It's all looking good for Cirie right now.
She was so intentional about how she handled it. Then Cody asked her the question, well, who do you think is a traitor? And she said, I'm basing my vote on the people that I think are the faithfuls. And so she gave just like a non-answer. She did it in such a way, even when she wrote down Cody on the chalkboard, she said, I have to depend on my team to steer me. The team is pointing me in this direction. Cody talked about Cirie after he went out as that she is the person who will teach future traitors how to play this game. So that he came away feeling like he has the utmost respect for Cirie. I mean, she got out of that mess, I think, as artfully as you could expect.
Yeah, I think, we talk about these shows. Any show that debuts, the first season can have a lot of implications for how the show is structured. And specifically, who wins, that could define a lot for future gameplay. What's the good gameplay? I feel like having Cirie as your first traitor ever on this show, obviously aside next to Cody and Christian, Cirie is going to show a lot of future players how to play this, and I think she's going to be the blueprint for a long time coming, which is awesome.
If Cody didn't say to Kyle about the Ryan Lochte incident, is he still in the game?
I think it's entirely possible.
Yeah.
I truly think he was not on that many radars at that point. Hell, Christian was ahead of him on the radars, and then that derailed everything for him, and it put all the eyes on him.
Yeah, and it really came down to, the whole Ryan Lochte versus Kyle business of it all. Like, I mean, that was a real turning point in the season.
Right. So do you think that in that situation, Cody should have pushed more to get Kyle out, or just don't say anything to Kyle after the fact?
Yeah, I would love to know like why Cirie felt like she had to have Ryan Lochte in that spot. I mean, I think that they could have gotten past that. I mean, I don't think that it was Ryan Lochte ultimately that was the thing that did them in, but then the way he handled the whole Kyle situation the next morning was the ultimate thing. But it really just came back down to that certain point in the game. So it's Cirie and Christian, the 2 traitors who are there, and now they have the opportunity to recruit somebody to become a traitor. Like, is it an easy decision for somebody who is one of the faithfuls to switch sides? Like, is that a no-brainer?
It really depends on the person and it really depends on their psyche. I feel like, especially this deep into the game, whether or not this is a good invite that I feel good about taking. Now, for me personally, if I'm a faithful in this season and I'm at the final 7 and we've got one right, but then everyone's looking at the wrong people, we're still getting everything wrong. The team doesn't seem cohesive and I don't trust it. Give me the traitor spot because I have a better shot there. Clearly, the traders are doing a good enough job. Let me be on their side. I'm guaranteed to not die from being murdered. And then the banishment thing, however many people are into the traders' corner, that might be good for me come final 7, final 6.
So I'm just looking at the people that are still in the game. So we're down to 8 people, correct? And Suri and Christian are already traders. And so the only people that are still left in the game, it's Ari, Kate, Rachel, Stephanie, and then only 2 of the newbies are left, Andy and Quentin, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So to me, I feel like that the person that Suri is going to look for, what about Andy?
I don't know, Rob, because here's how I think what the move is. I think you're at the 8, right? You're pretty close to the end. I think you recruit someone who has no capital and who will get banished soon anyway, because that's another trader that gets off the board. That's not you. That's good. And also, they're not as savvy. I feel like Andy is savvy enough that they could do exactly what Suri and Christian did to one of them. I think they are capable of doing that.
Okay. Well, that's interesting that you put it that way. So what if you bring Kate on to the traders?
That's the one.
Okay. You bring Kate onto the traders. They don't know, like, if she gets voted out next anyway, and it's like, aha, we got a traitor. We knew it this whole time. Okay, so I just became a traitor yesterday. Like, oh, all right, Kate. Yeah, right.
They're never going to believe her. Exactly. Like she has they can't believe it. They don't believe anything she says. Literally, the episode ends with people ostracizing her. I think she has, and also she's one of the ones where like she has nothing else going on. So either she declines it, which keeps you exactly where you are. That's fine. Or she takes it and she's like, you know what? I have a new lease on life. Let me play. Or she just takes it and then still gets taken out anyway. I think that's the win-win-win-win column for you is Kate, because she's so distracting and so many people are looking at her. And I'd never in a million years think she's going to flip it and try and get the vote flipped on Suri or Christian when Rachel's sitting right there.
In this fan fiction world, that's fun. I don't think that they ultimately are going to that, because I think Suri does not want somebody so messy in the like it's bad enough she's got to work with Christian, who has come a long way in fairness to Christian. But I don't think that she wants to necessarily, like, I'm gonna trust my game to Kate not revealing, like, giving away a lot to these people, although that Kate does hate the other faithful so much that it is possible, like, she doesn't want them to win. That being said, I suspect they will go with someone who they feel like can help them.
Who is the most likely to be able to help them?
Could Suri, and I keep saying just Suri because I feel like that she can talk Christian into whatever she wants to do. Could they bring in Stephanie?
I would have said yes until this last episode.
No, until Snake in the Grass. Suri knows Steph is a bad liar.
Yeah.
So maybe not. Okay. I mean, Ari, there's only 6 possibilities, so we could talk them through. Ari as a possibility.
Ari's a possibility that I really don't want. But yes, he is definitely a possibility.
Okay. We've talked through Kate. Rachel, is that possible? Could they bring or too much heat on Rachel, maybe?
I feel like, for the same, if they're not going to pick Kate for the heat, Rachel's got similar heat and she's continuously wrong, which I think is now going to put more eyes on her anyway.
Andy, to me, I think is the pick. Andy has talked about how they feel very close to Suri. You've seen a lot of conversations between Andy and Suri. We remember when there was a moment when it was brought up to Andy that Suri wanted to be a traitor. Like, what? my whole head spun around. Suri wanted to be a traitor. I could definitely see a scenario where they bring in Andy.
I feel like Andy, they just also proved to Suri that they trust Suri by sharing that information right before roundtable and then telling Suri, hey, keep it for the table. Keep it for the table. I feel like Andy is someone, if they're looking for genuinely recruiting a third to not just be a pawn, but to be a part of the team, I think Andy could be a shout. Also for Suri, selfishly, I feel like it's a great recruiting because Andy will always pick Suri over Christian as things stand. And I think you want that if you have to be at a point where you have to sacrifice another traitor. I think you want to have someone in your corner. So that's good for Suri if it is Andy, which leaves Quentin.
That would be an interesting pick. Quentin, he's just been so ice cold as one of the faithful. Like, I feel like that I would leave him out there because he's not ever getting any closer to figuring out who the traitors are. I mean, he might be a good person because I feel like that there has not been a ton of suspicion thrown at him. I think that Kate was kind of throwing out his name in this episode, but overall, he's been pretty free of being suspected of being a traitor. So I think he would be useful. But I just feel like that Suri has the relationship with Andy that I feel like that's more likely to be what she wants to do.
True. Now, do you want to discuss what the end game, like the format is for the end real quick?
Yeah, if you want to start to we're only 3 episodes away from the end of Traitors. So I think that you could give us the rules.
Okay, so I'll do a big preface by saying I've watched Traitors UK. Traitors UK was recorded after Traitor US. So there's a chance this isn't the format for this because this was before UK, but we'll go with that. So at the end, Rob, the way it goes is once they have their final roundtable, they'll banish someone, and then they're left with a number of people, five or four, okay? And then at that, they sit outside at the fire pit where Ari was calling Kate a cancer to the whole house.
Let's circle back to that too.
We will. So they stand there over the thing, and then they essentially can continue voting people out until they feel like there are no traitors. So let's say there's 4 of them. Let's say they vote out one person. Now there's 3 of them. If they still think there's a traitor, they vote again until you get to 2 people, basically, essentially.
But
and
do
then
they keep revealing if there's a loyal or the faithful or the traitors? Okay.
So once you're content, you're like, oh, hey, hold, don't hit again. It's like blackjack a little bit. So for me, having let's say you go into a final 4 and there are 3 traitors, 1 faithful, you can easily vote out the faithful and you're there. Easy done. But if there's 2 and 2, if there's 2 faithful, 2 traitors, there's a big chance that one of the traitors will just turn around and stab the last remaining traitor, not only to get the entire purse, because then they'll win the whole money themselves if the voting ceases. So that's why I think recruiting here is sticky. It's tough because depending on who you get, they might just stab you at the end because they want the whole thing or because they don't want to go out at that point. They're close enough to the end.
But you're saying that as somebody who's seen the format of the show before. I'm not exactly sure. Do all the contestants know exactly how that end game is gonna work?
I don't think we've seen them be if I'm explaining it to everyone now, they haven't explained it to us on the US version. So I don't know if they necessarily know. I think that's gonna be like a twist reveal, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, let's just talk through some of the other stuff going on here in this episode. Of course, there was a lot of suspicion on Shelby coming into all of this. Shelby was one of the people that voted against Rachel at the prior banishment. Ari claims to have spotted that Shelby didn't look that happy when we found the traitor.
Yeah, she did not look happy. She looked not shocked. She looked shocked, but not happy. It was, again, it's like fitting a square peg in a circle hole, some of these reasonings to getting people out here.
Yeah. And so Shelby, we saw her that seemingly having a hard time missing her child. And we saw that there was like a very genuine moment where Suri came up to Shelby, who also then was kind of bonding with Kate. We heard for the first time about it getting a little clicky in the Traitors mansion. Who's in the clique?
Okay, so let's go back to our trusty graphic real quick for me to
is
gander.
the clique the snake in the grass crew? Is it Cerise, Stephanie, Rachel? Is that the clique?
I think the clique has Ari in it, and Quentin in it, and Stephanie and Rachel. I think that's the 4-person clique that is being referred to here.
Ari, Rachel, Stephanie. Have they always been on the same page?
I think specifically in this end game, because they voted out Cody, right? And they're feeling very much like they've got that, and now they're all circling around Shelby, and they've all like mistrusted Kate. So I feel like it's that. It's kind of they've all been on the same page, not necessarily officially, like as a clique, because they're being put into a clique. They never said we are a clique.
Yeah. Okay. So Shelby is going through this bit of a hard time, and she's gonna definitely be up for banishment. Kate tries to again jump on that grenade and be the person and let me go out instead of Shelby. Everybody's like, no. How about no?
If any of these people still think Kate is a traitor, they're dummies. I'm sorry. They're just dummies. Kate is not getting banished and is surviving every night. Like, that should be the clearest thing to you, that Kate is not a traitor. You need to stop that. If Kate wasn't a traitor based on the hit list you saw earlier in the season, then she's not a traitor now. This is a ridiculous notion for me.
So in the banishment ceremony, everybody was sort of like, throwing these accusations at Shelby, and Shelby didn't, as some of the people noted, she didn't really put up too much of a fight. She's like, I don't understand why you think I can't prove to you I'm faithful. Why do you think I'm a traitor? And they, tried to come up with the oh, well, you didn't seem too upset that you talked to Cody. Ultimately, every single vote goes Shelby's way, and they find out actually also faithful.
Yeah. See, I thought her response was very good, but that defense is very hard. In games like this, it's very hard to use that as a defense and then have it work successfully. And what I mean by that is when you are told that you are bad and you're like, how about you tell me why I'm bad, and then I can tell you why I'm not bad based on what you've said, because then it can feel like you're just trying to hear what I say to build an argument, to answer, to cater to that question. So it'll never work. Like when they all voted her out, they said nothing you said worked. So I think when you put yourself in that position, it's near impossible to jump out of it.
Yeah, I just think that Shelby was defeated at this point. She's like, you're gonna banish me anyway. I'm not gonna make a whole big fuss here. Your mind is already made up that this is what you're doing. And so for Shelby, she did not really, feel like, we're not gonna fight it. Like every single person that is like, hey, I swear I'm not, they still vote, they still banish you. She's like, am I gonna waste my energy and come off looking like a crazy person?
Right. Especially with this game, I think one of the difficult things is there's not a lot of things to go off of outside of, again, body language and voting history potentially. Because, this isn't like a game of Among Us where you're like, oh, I did this task. And everyone's like, yeah, that's a task. That makes sense. There's no such thing here. So you can't really point to any one clear thing. And they're looking at it, they're like, you know what? You've been voting with Cody in lockstep. And we, based on your body language, think you weren't happy that he was gone. So that's not great for us. And then, I thought Kate brought the best defense to that, which was, oh, I was just unhappy that I was wrong. Not that he went out, just that I voted incorrectly. Which, again, still not a great defense, but what do you have nothing. When people are talking about when Angelica's like, I don't know how to prove to you that I'm good, but I'm good. There's nothing you can prove with. So when you speak like that, it's tough. It's tough to take that and be like, oh, you seem good.
Yeah, one thing that Shelby did do was to pass along this piece of information that let me just this telephone game of Stephanie Suri allegedly told Stephanie, "I'm mad that I'm not a traitor." That she wanted to be a traitor, and she's not, and I mean, I believe this because with Snake in the Grass, when we did Snake in the Grass, and where Stephanie was the snake in the grass, Suri was like, "Why didn't they pick me? I would be good at that. I should have been the snake in the grass." So I 100% believe that Suri told Stephanie, like, "Hey, I'm mad. I wanted to, like, I'm mad. I didn't get to be the snake in the grass. I don't get to be a traitor. I'd be so good at it." And so Stephanie tries to make this case. I know Suri isn't the traitor because she told me she's mad. She's not one of the traitors. And then I don't know, like that I'd buy this. I don't know why Andy is so thrown. Like, wait, hold on a second. Suri wanted to be a traitor and is mad that she wasn't.
Andy, have you watched Suri play games before? So I think Shelby's big misstep wasn't going directly to Suri after hearing this. Had she shared that information, I think there's a world where there's enough tide turning that she could survive the night, maybe. Because then Suri in your corner is always a cheat code. But she instead shares it with Andy, who then takes it to Suri. And I think that is kind of a little crack in the allegiance with Stephanie and Suri. But I think even then it should still be probably fine.
Yeah. And Suri says, like, "No, I swear, like, I never said that." But again, I don't think it was that damning.
Is that a bad thing to hear? Like,
yeah, I said that. I am mad. I would have been. Are you kidding me? I would have been great at being a traitor, but I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's. Maybe it's more so that why is Stephanie giving up my business, right? Like, we are supposed to be good.
Well, I understand why Suri is like, "Hey, Stephanie, what are you doing?" You're like,
why is Andy shaken?
Yeah, that to me, I don't know. It's just like that people go off of anything. So we have at the end of the episode where Kate, who has been great for drama, even though in terms of being like a great person, maybe not so much. She's like this is when we see when Kate is right, she gets on such a high horse. Like when the first she's saying about outside, when the group does what Kate doesn't want, she gets on such a high horse. When she's wrong, she's like, I was wrong. What do you want from me? Okay, well, I was wrong. We're wrong all the time. But when they get it wrong, she's like, "So how does it feel? You just voted out a single mother."
I think that's the way Kate does it is brilliant because Kate doesn't even care. She wants to be voted out. So if you don't vote me out and you vote out a faithful, you're dumb. That was stupid. If I vote someone out, why am I here? You should have voted me out long ago. You're dumb.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
I was wrong. Who cares? Yeah. So Ari, I couldn't believe, said to Kate, "You're a cancer you're literally a cancer to the group."
Yeah, not a great episode for Ari. He kind of went from harmless to I'm irritated by him. That, and then when he's voting out Shelby, being like, "Yeah, I know you have a daughter. You go home to your daughter. Like, how about you don't dictate where I go? You go home to your family. How about that?"
Yeah. I say let's not tell people they're literally a cancer. If we could,
that'd be nice.
That'd be
bare minimum.
That'd be good. So yeah, I mean, I think that's where we stand after 7 episodes. It does seem like the game is getting to the group. I don't know if this was like a particularly heavy episode because everybody seemed to like Shelby. They didn't want to send her home, but felt like that they had to. And so that there was a lot of the players talking about how like hard the game has gotten at this point. It wasn't a vote that anybody relished putting through.
I think it's a combination of they just got one right, and some of them are clearly riding that high with full ego and confidence. Like Stephanie was 99% sure that Shelby's the next one,
Mhm.
right? And that Kate is the other one. Stephanie's been riding that for a minute. So I think it's the false confidence that it brought them. And then also they're still at the end. And I think at this point, every single vote out that is a faithful, it just hits you like a wall because you're not going to have a lot more opportunities left to do anything about it. And you're still continuously getting it wrong. You're not even close to getting to the result that you want.
Pooya, what'd you think of the mission in this episode of the haunted billiard room?
So I can share this with you, Rob. This was a brand new mission. This was not on the UK season.
A brandy new mission.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can see why I didn't make it to the UK season. 3 rounds.
And it was 3 rounds. And really, by the time we got to the first group was Kate, Shelby, and Stephanie, and you had a lot of like Kate and Stephanie bickering. And then you had Suri, Andy, and Rachel, and you had Suri there and Rachel there, big personalities, but Ari, Christian, and Quentin, like they did have the fastest time, but also the edit was like yada yada yada.
Yeah,
don't worry about this. 30 seconds.
They didn't put in much effort, but also it just felt like that game seemed impossible for them. Mm-hmm. Right? We had out of possible $9,000, they got $2,000, mm-hmm. 1 correct on 2 teams.
Yeah, and
yeah, also. The Shield seems like the biggest dud because Ari's won it twice and he's gone in last for both.
Yeah. Yep. So there you go. All right. That's episode 7. We got to find out who the new traitor is. And then after that, and then we got to commit a murder. Actually, will there be a murder or this is are there 2 things happening?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. It didn't seem like it. However, this is what could happen is because I think if whoever they recruit says yes, they will immediately be taken to the turret room for a reveal. So that'll happen. Maybe after that there's a murder, but I didn't get the vibe that was going to happen, but also that could be announced after the recruitment process.
If there's no murder, is Ari gonna just be like victory lap of like, they tried to murder me. I had the shield. I am invincible. They can't kill me. I did it.
That's entirely possible, and I would like to see an ego spike like that because he might pull up on some radars after that. We'll see.
I mean, yeah. We'd like to see a pulse other than calling Kate a cancer.
Oh, that'd be nice. Just give me any other shade of you.
Yeah. That'd be great. All right. So we are going to leave it here for episode number 7. And then we are getting very close to the end of Traitors. 3 episodes left to go. Our next Traitors recap will be our episode 8 recap, which is coming to you at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then later on today, we'll have our episode 9 recap at 5. And then we will talk the finale, episode 10 at 8 p.m. Eastern. Pooya, anything else for right now?
No, we'll find out who potentially gets recruited. We'll see if we're going to episode 8 with 3 traitors versus 2, and then 3 more episodes, and then we're done. It's been a fun ride, Rob. 7 episodes in feels great.
Yeah, feels real good. Okay, we'll be back with episode 8 coming up soon. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.